We're here today to talk to you about the updated patient registration and the care message interface that we will be going live on very soon. So as you know, when we upgraded our NextGen back in June, our then paper patient registration form didn't quite align with the screen order of the NextGen upgrade. So we had a work group working together over the summer to fine-tune how an updated patient registration should look. And so we will be going live on that very, very soon. Fortunately, the timing of the patient registration worked nicely with the fact that we are moving to a care message interface. Currently, we upload a file daily to care message for our appointments. And starting on Tuesday, October 2nd, as appointments are scheduled or changed, those will pass directly to care message real time. Additionally, when patients confirm or cancel, those will come back to NextGen real time also. So a nice benefit of this will be that staff will not need to go to the care message app to see who has confirmed or canceled for appointments that are booked starting on October 2nd. So what I've got on screen is two resources, one for Bomi and one for Eric O. And a little bit ago, we booked an appointment for a test patient, Abigail ZZ test, and that was obviously a medical appointment in language English. And Abby, what happened with that appointment?
As soon as we scheduled it, I got a call as a reminder because it was same day, and I canceled it. So we're waiting to see if it goes in and cancels in NextGen in real time.
Excellent. So on Eric O's schedule, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to book an appointment, and I'm going to book an appointment at 3:30 for another test patient. And I'm going to say it's a restorative appointment just for test purposes with Eric at High Point. I'm going to say the patient actually does need interpretation because my test patient speaks Spanish. And then I'm going to say, okay. And now at this point, we've got the two test appointments in. Abby's appointment was set to send a voice reminder to her cell phone, which she got, and my appointment is set to send me a text message to my cell phone, my personal cell phone. So in time, that message should come through to me. So at this point, what I'd like to do is basically move over to our patient registration form and show you how those changes are going to align with NextGen. Oh, and just so you know, I just got a text message on my phone in Spanish telling me that I have an appointment at 3:30 today. And so that's pretty neat. I am going to go ahead and let's see if I haven't confirmed yet, so I am going to say yes, that I'm confirming it. And then when we go back and look in our book in a little bit, we're going to see what happens. But I'm going to go back here to my patient registration form. Okay, so you're going to see it looks a little bit different. I think the layout is really nice, and it does follow the order of NextGen. You'll see right off the bat that we've got a space for previous last, preferred first, which is equal to our nickname. We've put this formatting on the Social Security number so that we make sure that we get all the digits from a patient. We've added the new heading of birth sex. We've added current gender And we've also included X as an option because patients can have their birth certificates legally changed to have an X as an option. We have the gender identity, sexual orientation, and preferred pronoun items all called out specifically, and the pick lists follow what are on NextGen. We've got the mailing address with an apartment now, secondary address with an apartment now, marital, preferred language, and veteran and smoker haven't changed. Contact information, it's formatted a little bit differently, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It gives you the check boxes for what the preferred number is and what type of number it is. This one down here, notification preference, is very important, and it's basically going to drive your care message. In the past, we had a field on our registration form called preferred contact, and we had a paper form that you had patients fill out and say what their preferred method to get an appointment reminder was. To support care message, we needed to move away from using preferred contact and move towards using notifications instead. So notifications will now appear on your registration instead of the contact preference. The data that was originally living in contact preference has been migrated over to the notifications. So where it used to say phone call to cell, it's now a checkbox on voice reminder. If it was a phone call to home, it's now going to say phone call to home. For patients who have opted out entirely, there's going to be a checkbox for opt out. Additionally, if a patient on their EHR HIPAA template has indicated that they don't want to get reminders at a number, we will be including that preference in their notification preferences too. So that piece, those two pieces work really nicely together. Additionally, we've got our patient demographics that, again, formatted a little bit differently, but aligning with the way NextGen tracks the data. We do have fewer questions here than we originally had because we don't want to track all of those fields anymore. We've added in the new fields of, are you actively serving in the US military, yes or no, and if you are related to someone who has served in the military, how are you related? So those are new with our 5984 back in June. We have an updated privacy notice that Sarah Fish has worked on, and this is supported by, I believe, a brochure that's going to be at all your front desks, and it indicates that we can contact the patients in all these different methods. So what's nice about this, it actually replaces that other piece of paper where patients had to sign how they wanted to get their messages. We've got our emergency contact, our parent guardian, and the data that we put on the UDS tab all is here, just as before. Again, just formatted a little bit differently. And then your insurance, the release and consent hasn't changed, patient signs. And then down at the bottom, we have a section on marketing. We have not yet actively started tracking that data, but we are going to start collecting it for future use. And at some point, Mary will tell us when we want to start collecting it. So again, basically this notification preference is going to drive how those care messages go out. And so if I go back to scheduling and I open up the ZZ Test Abigail, we'll see that that's her appointment. I'm actually going to go into her chart. And when I look at her screen, you'll see she's set up to get a voice reminder. And that means a voice reminder to her cell phone. That is her notification. You'll notice this section here is new. What used to be is a contact preference used to live in this area that I'm mousing over right now. That data that was there is now migrated over to the notifications. It's not exactly the same verbiage, but we've mapped it with OCHIN, and that's worked really well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go over to clinical history and notes, and I'm going to come down to appointments, and it shows that Abigail's easy test is expected for an appointment at 3:30. She did cancel using her cell phone, but there's a 30-minute duration. It could be up to 30 minutes before this actually shows, because that data is only picked up at that frequency. So now if I go back and I look at Barbara, I've got a fake alert there. You'll see that Barbara is also expected, and that, though I confirmed on my phone, that confirmation has not yet come through. So if I were to be doing this real time and I was in the book and the patient had confirmed and there'd been enough time passed, this checkbox actually would have been checked. So that will take the place of the care message, you having to go out to care message to see you confirmed. So Abby, what am I forgetting anything to mention in that area? So when a patient cancels, one of the things that will be interesting will be all the clinics are slightly different how they book their interpreters. And so currently when we send our care messages up to care message through the interface, we do not send it for interpreter resources. So when a patient cancels their appointment and you had booked an interpreter either in-house or through the service or through the in-demand, you're going to want to cancel that interpreter using the method that they were going to come through. So one of the things I would suggest is Dina at Central uses this report, the appointment list, and if I were to go into today's appointments and search on canceled, there's not going to be anything there, I don't think. I'm going to search on last week canceled appointments. So basically this appointment for the date like today or a future date, you could look for when a patient was canceled, and on this column here, interpretation, you can sort it such that anything that's not a no is at the top. So if you see yes they canceled and well, so you have to look at status is canceled, and where interpretation says yes, it means that you're going to need to cancel that interpreter. And because this is a test system, it's kind of hard to show you exactly what that looks like. So let's see, what else do I need to mention here? So as I mentioned, your care message notification preference is complemented by what lives in the HIPAA template in EHR. So if the HIPAA template says you may not contact the patient at their home, and on the notification it says contact them at their home, that patient will not get a reminder to their home. Same is true for their cell phone, and basically it will opt them out of getting that message. And again, it's a little bit hard to show you in the test system, but we did test those scenarios and they all tested out pretty well. And let me see if my cancellation has come back yet for Abby. Still shows you as expected. So it probably means that we booked it. We just haven't waited the full 30 minutes. And if I go to me, I'm going to see if mine is there. I'm still showing as expected. But with the right amount of time going by, that confirmation will come back. So basically, the thing to know is your registration form is going to change effective to support our change to the care message interface on Tuesday, October 2nd. And we go live on the care message interface at 8 a.m. Tuesday, October 2nd. We chose to have it be that time because had we had it go live earlier in the day, your patients who were booking would have actually been getting text messages very early, and we didn't want to have them getting text messages before business hours. So we're excited about this change, and we think it's a nice improvement for everybody. Anything that you would add, Abby?
No, I think you got it all. That's great.
All righty.